People seem to forget, if you change today, today will change your life. 1, 2, 3, and we are live. Welcome to the Self-Believe Chief podcast. You're here with a life coach, David Hulman. And on this week's episode, I want to bring you a session with a personal trainer called Vern Fitzpatrick, who is someone I've known for a little while now, and someone who's very engaging, someone's very inspiring, someone who really has a drive and passion for what they do and helping people, not just in terms of their fitness, but really sees the person as a whole and actually trying to see how can that person level up in their life through their health and fitness, but just in terms of how they feel about themselves. So I thought it'd be really valuable for you to get to listen to him. So I've got a session with you today, and this is a insert from that session. And look, if you're looking to start a business, if you're looking to find that, to get that drive for your health and fitness, if you're looking to change how you feel, this will be a great episode for you.
Pleasure to connect with you, man, over the course of time. So, getting into fitness, man, the importance of that. I think self-care is very important. When I find myself actually not going to the gym, I get into those down and depressed, states where it's like, I'm not achieving, I'm not accomplishing, especially when business isn't going right. You also have to have something that's, that you have to accomplish, because if you're not accomplishing in business, then it's like you have to accomplish in some other area to keep you going and to get that stimulus. So I think that's very important. For me, it's just been, those feelings, once you're just done after a nice hard workout, you feel accomplished, you feel a step towards getting better as a person, and for me, that's actually my space, so I'm actually in the field of fitness, so online fitness coach. And, not only is it important for personal growth to me, but, that's just my whole thing, I'm just like all fitness, so it's like, it's not a little part of my life. It's like a whole part of my life there, where it's like I go in depth into actually learning, how the body functions and things like that. And I just learned about it shows you how important it is to get up and move, to make sure there's no muscle imbalances and things like that, but more so, just for people out there who aren't, fitness experts and just like curious about, is exercising important? I definitely think it is, man, without a doubt in my mind. Just like I said, those endorphins are created once you're done working out. You just feel good about yourself. So I think that overall is just like is a bonus. That right there tells you like, man, I need to work out. The way it makes you feel, and also keeping your health in check. So self-care is definitely important, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to hear. It's great to hear you talking in those ways. And the main thing I was going to say really is, I see you on Facebook. I see your stories and whatever, and you go hard. Like when I see you do like squat, deadlift, clean and press, like back to back, like relentless. I mean, that is just that really put me to. I saw one of your videos. I thought, shit, I've really got out my game because hard. So I mean, when I look at that, talk to me about that. I mean, so how it makes you feel, but like talk to me about why you got started, because like so many people I know when it comes to fitness, like you don't know how it feels until you do it. So really, part of the problem is, well, actually the bit to get started, and everyone's going to have a compelling reason. So what was your compelling reason where you looked at it and go, I need to get on this. I need to do this. And whatever it takes, however long it takes to get to where I need to, I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah. Now, before we even get to that, I wanted to touch on you talking about how, going hard in the gym, because that can actually be like discouraging for some people, because, it's like, dang, man, I wish I had that drive. I wish I had that energy. And, to be very transparent and honest here, it's like, I don't always have that energy to go that hard in the gym every single day, but at the same time is the fact that saying, when I don't feel like going, and just getting up and going and just being able to go through the motions, get warmed up, then you start feeling like, oh, that now it's going, now it's pumping. now I can really pick it up now, because that's where it's at. It's like if you constantly see people like going all hard, it's like, it could be like, man, like I don't have that type of energy, and it could actually paralyze somebody from like, man, I'll never get to that level. So it's like, I just wanted to put that out there to let everybody know, it's like, there's going to be times where it's like, man, I just don't feel like doing this, it's like, I'm right there with you. It's like I'm not always lifting the heaviest weights every time I step in there. But yeah, I wanted to put that out there. But to answer your question, man, that's a very good question. What started with me was, I was very insecure about myself. Where I was, my body. Like over the past week, I was in San Diego at the CIA Live event. And we were all hanging out, and I was telling people, I'm like, man, I never used to be like this. I'll never used to go sit at tables and connect with people and just be like open and, so inviting, until like I worked on myself. And it was just like back then, I was like, I had the social anxiety. I was always worrying about, how people were perceiving me. I was a very skinny guy. So I was like so insecure, so self-conscious about myself, always worried about what people think, and that drove me to like literally start to drink and smoke. And that right there took me down a very long road, a very long road where it's like, I got to a point where, not only was I, facing the thoughts of like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Do I want to even exist anymore? But when I stepped in front of a mirror one day, man, I looked in the mirror and I literally started to cry because I realized that I took myself down a road that I didn't know who I was. I had no idea who I was anymore. It was like I lost my identity within, continuously smoking, continuously drinking to the point where I had no idea what sobriety felt like. And I looked in the mirror and it was like, man, I'm gone. And that right there struck the journey where it's like, I got to start working on myself. I got to start bettering myself because I don't want this anymore. I literally cried. I said, I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. And it took for me to be real with myself. It's like I had to be real and honest with myself that I was destroying myself, and I didn't want that anymore. I got into the gym. I started working out with my brother. I wasn't packing on muscle like I wanted to at the time, but it was just like the idea of, bettering myself, getting into the gym, working out, started reading books, started, listening to the positive tapes, the Jim Rohn, the Earl Nightingale, all these people, and just furthering myself away from the crowd, and, just working on myself more and more and more. And I realized that fitness played a big part of it. I really started to get into fitness. I really started to learn how, to get bigger, to get stronger, and I started working on it more and more and more and started to stay away from the things that were bringing me down. And it just started building me up, man. My confidence started going up, my self-esteem, because I was doing all the right things then, and then aside from just the working out, the things I was doing outside of fitness was also helping me, get rid of the insecurities, wondering why I'm doing these things, wondering why, I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, so understanding myself on another level and just being real, just being real myself. And that was the big part, and then just continuously going through it, working out, just finding that groove, man, kept me in it. And here I am now. It's like, on podcasts with you, man. It's like man, I never seen this kind of stuff like back then. It was just like, I was just like I said, man, I was like a very insecure, self-conscious type of guy. I even actually was self-sabotaging relationships and whatnot with it because just like, those insecurities creep up. And I talk about this, when like in my marketing and stuff, like, these type of things are going to eat at you. If you're self-conscious, insecure about yourself, you're going to, self-sabotage the things around you if you're not taking care of yourself, which is getting back to the fitness part, why, talking about self-care and how important that is. But, that's what really got me into it, man. And it's like, there's no going back here. It's like, I know where, like, when things can continuously get hard, it's like to reflect and see where I was at, and it's like, it could always be worse. Just keep moving forward. You came this far, keep going, just keep putting the steps in and keep working towards getting better, and that's my thing with doing what I do now is like, I want to help other guys that are in that same situation. They may not be smoking or drinking themselves to death, but maybe sabotaging other things in their life. Their relationships. Not having the connection with people around them. Because they're so worried about who you judge them instead of working on themselves, accepting themselves, building themselves up. And then just going out, and enjoying life, because they finally have worked on themselves, built themselves up to a level where, they're looking good, they're feeling good, they're confident in themselves, their self-esteem is high, and they can walk around, they can talk to people, they can engage in people without having to get a drink or whatever the case may be, So, that's just my main mission here, man. And it's a vital one, because it helped me. So it's like, I got to go back and I got to do that. I got to go back and help people that are in the same position, because it's like, what if I'd never been honest with myself, So it's like me going back and helping other people, It's like some people don't want to be honest with themselves, and it's tough, it can be a tough thing. So it's like, it's a definitely good feeling when I do help those guys though, man, because I know what it's like to be in their shoes. Absolutely. But to answer your question short, man, that's exactly what got me into working out and working on myself.
That I tell you what, I've done my weights, I've done my Pilates class, and you've just got me like you got me fired up again. I want to go. That is some story, man. That's I love it, absolutely love it. And one of the things you said about that kind of feeling of like, I don't actually, not today, but you find something within yourself that says, today, maybe I don't feel like it right now, but I will do when I get there. And so one of the things I always say to my clients, which is that if you can operate from a place of, rather than asking yourself, what do you feel like doing? Asking yourself, how do I want to feel?
Right.
And if you answer from that place of how do I want to feel, then you have to go, right, so what do I feel like doing? Well, if you're feeling tired, you're sluggish or whatever, then that's going to affect the next action. It's like, what do I feel like doing? I don't feel like doing anything right now.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you say, how do I want to feel? I want to feel energetic. I want to feel passionate. I want to have appreciation. I want to feel good. Okay. Then you work backwards and say, well, what's going to get me to feel like that? And then you can work it in that way. But I love your story. So talk to me then about, you said you needed to do this because you didn't know who you were.
Yeah.
So tell me who you are now.
Well, man, like I say, it's just that massive clarity on, the confidence that I feel in myself, the drive, the I would say more so the belief in myself that I can do something great, that I can connect with people, that I feel good. Most importantly, simply put, is that I feel good about myself. I just finally feel good about who I am, where I am. I'm not satisfied. I'm not content, but I'm thankful, and it's like, I'm just striving to get better and better and better. That's just the most important thing, is I finally feel good about who I am.
Yeah, that's good. So, okay, yeah, and by all means, like, working out who you are, it's just like a never-ending process, and that is really exciting, whilst terrifying at the same time for a lot of people I speak to. So, talk to me. I mean, we've talked about the fitness aspect of it. You've brilliantly articulated in terms of like actually how that can make someone, just that change in mindset and mental state from where you were. And I've no doubt you're going to inspire a load of people to go and consider actually what they need to do. And fitness wise, talk to me a little bit about the business of personal training. And I don't mean necessarily the specifics of setting up a business and whatever, but maybe there are people out there who actually are thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe fitness is like, it's not just like something I've got to do. It's like, it's my life. It's my passion. And maybe that's my job. So talk to me about how you kind of got into personal training. And then I know you're looking at your business and like you're bringing clients over a long period of time who want to work with you. So talk to me about what that journey's been like from starting out, doing your training to thinking, actually, I can do this on my own and I can set up a business and people will pay me a lot of money to do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, man, the beginning I was, to be honest, I was afraid, I was uncertain, I was timid about it, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can actually help somebody, do this, But I started, I just I just started with like a little low fee, and that was just based off my perception. Like, I don't want to, charge massive amounts of money,
Uh-huh.
not knowing I can get somebody results. And so I started on the low end, and I just like was helping people, and it's like, wow, getting people results. It's like, wow, this is working, man. This is amazing. It's like, I didn't believe in it at first because it was my very first client, and I actually didn't start in person. I actually started online.
All
I
right.
went
Okay.
straight online with it. Yeah, I went straight online. I mean, I coached my girlfriend, in person, so a little bit of experience, I would say,
Was
giving a little people
was
pointers.
she happy with the results?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I mean, the funny thing is, her friends, right? Her friends, will watch her story and stuff and would see how hard I would push her. They're
All
they're
right.
they're always afraid of me to train them because they're like, oh no, you're putting her through too much work. It's like, because yeah, I literally go like
Yeah,
really
yeah.
hard on her. And it builds character too. It's like that mental toughness just to keep going. You
Uh,
know, but yeah, she was definitely satisfied with the results, man.
she doesn't love
We're
you for
actually
the
about to give it.
she doesn't love you for the hour you trained her, but she loves you after that.
No, not at all, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally, I had her cry a few times, because
Oh
of
God.
how hard I pushed her through. Yeah, yeah, painful. I mean, I had people in the gym stop and say, "Are you gonna make her cry today?" It's like, they'll walk past, give her a high five and stuff. It's like, you'll be like, "Hey, you're killing it," boost her
So,
up because she does, man. She doesn't give up at all.
a quick side note. So, anyone who's listening who's going to possibly
Mhm.
want to work with Vern in the future, if you want to be made to cry, then Vern is your guy. That's just that should be a slogan. If you want to cry,
Yeah,
Vern's your guy. We'll go from
yeah.
there.
Oh, I love that, man. I
Anyway,
love
but
that.
if you want the
Yeah.
no crying option, that's going to cost you more. So you've got to be
Yeah.
willing to cry. Anyway, yeah. So talk to me. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you're working with your girlfriend, yeah,
hmm
and
Yeah.
and
So, I
go on.
mean, yeah. I mean, other than that, I haven't, trained any other people in person. So
Right.
I just went straight online from there. And I was hesitant about because I don't know if people are going to follow the plan.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
like everything all mapped out for them. I was like, man, I don't know if they're going to follow this. And at the same time, it's like I also have to tweak things. As we go through because as we know, everybody's not the same. So
Yeah.
it's like I have to make sure they're staying on page with me. Make sure they're not giving up, thinking, oh, this isn't working. Let me just throw it out. Because like I said, it takes tweaks. So we have to stay on the same page. And it's like, oh, are they going to stay on the same page with me? Are they just going to give up on me? Are they going to want refunds? So it's like all these questions going through my mind. I'm just like, oh man, so I just went with it. I'm just like, just go with it, figure it out, just go try it. If it works, works. It doesn't, it doesn't. Easier said than done at the moment. I
Yeah.
was so nervous about it. But I went on, did it, and they got the results, and it was like, wow. It just like it made me feel so good. And just like, this right here is what I want to do. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. It was like, and it was never me taking credit for it. Every time my client gets results, it's like I always say, they always thank me and say, wow, without you, that, such and such. But I say, no, without your, without your commitment, without you putting the work in, this wouldn't have worked. So I always tell them to give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I get all those questions going through my head. Like, are they going to stick with it? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? It's their part in it too that's making them a success.
Hmm.
So it's not just me. It's a big part of them. So I always tell them, give yourself a pat on the back for it. Um, but as I progressed, man, I just started gaining more confidence with it. It's like, wow, I can do this. I can help people. As long as they're willing to put the work in. This works. I found it. I found it. So this stuff was actually working.
Yeah.
So I just kept going through with it. And then I found CIA. Thank God. Thank
So
God, because I mean,
for those who don't know, so CIA is a Clients in Abundance, which is a business program which
lovely.
Fern and I both met on, which is
Hmm.
amazing. So you went to the live event recently, didn't you?
Yes, man. I mean, transformational. Oh my goodness. I commented in the group yesterday. I said, man, my identity has changed.
All right.
Since that group, man. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
But
So go on.
yeah. So meeting them, man, made me realize that we could be very good at what we do, but if we can't communicate it, if we have no idea
Mm.
about business, then man, we'll never be able to reach people. We'll never be able to help people. So meeting Alex and the team early on made me realize, like, wow, I got to get down this stuff in order to be able to help people.
Yeah.
Because without understanding business, I won't be in business. So it's like, dang, I didn't realize that until I got with them. It's like, wow, this stuff is amazing. It's like, I'm glad I found them, man, because I wouldn't be able to help people at all. I'll only be able to, go as far as my capabilities allow me to go, which are very limited, and I'm still working on the skills
Mm-hmm.
and just over time, man, I just know it's going to be massive. I just know it's going to be massive.
I love that you've got that confidence now. And I mean, it's for both of us. I mean, on the journeys that we've been on business wise, I think it's a bit like when a really talented chef decides, actually, you know what, I want to own my own restaurant. And then they go and do it and they realize 10% is the cooking, 90% is every other business thing that you can possibly imagine that you're not even
Yes.
prepared, you're not prepared for, you
Yes.
don't know. And you realize like,
Right.
oh shit, this is a big deal. So
Mhm.
a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
people, and I'm glad you got a bit more clarity again. So a lot of people who are on this
Mhm.
podcast who I coach, some of which who are trying to look at starting their own businesses. And I think the point you made, very important
Mhm.
point, two things, which was around it's there, like whether you're helping with people with personal training or around helping people with their relationships or whatever it might be,
Right.
they've got to do the work. It's just that we give them kind of
Mhm.
direction, but the people are going to be able to
Yeah.
do the work. And the second
Right.
thing being that, when it's time to, when it is time to step up, and that
Mhm.
initial beginning point of like, I don't know I can do this. And I just wanted to ask you about in that sort of process and that journey you've been on, where you started
Mhm.
transforming people, everyone, and I know both of us would have been here at this point, that
Mhm.
that bit between I want to do this, you don't know what you don't know, so you have all this like really, you have this sort of enthusiastic confidence, like, yeah, I can do this, I can
Yeah.
do this. And then
Mhm.
you go and get approached
Mhm.
by the first person who might want to come work with you, and then there's that imposter
Right.
syndrome, then there's that
Yeah.
actually can I do this.
Yeah.
So you touched on it a little bit, but because there are going to be so many people who are motivated to try and do their own thing, create their own personal brand, their business, whatever, how did
Mhm.
you overcome that mental block just before you're working with that first person, where you first had that thought, maybe I can't do this? So tell me what sort of
Mhm.
thoughts were going through your head, and then very specifically, like, actually, how did you manage to push yourself through that? Because so many people, when they hit that block, they don't do it. They just can't do it.
Right.
They can't commit to it. And yet you're one of those people who could, and now you're starting to see the results. Talk to me how people can
Mhm.
cross that bridge.
That's a very good question, man. So before I actually got my first client, um yeah, it was just so many questions going through my head. Um Now, are you asking, what were my thoughts of, am I going to be able to help them, or my thoughts of, being able to, or having that like imposter syndrome, like you said,
Yeah,
like, am I should be doing this?
yeah. I mean, so I guess the way, I mean, so I wrote a book a number of years back, and one of the things I put in the book was actually like a second narrative, which was like my internal voice of doubt. So throughout the whole
Hmm.
book, it's like I'm writing the book. It's got all the information. It's got everything I know. It's how I can help people. But I wanted to put
Right.
in this second voice because whilst I was writing the book, I had this second voice going, "But can you really do this? Do you really know how to do
Hmm.
this?" So yeah, so
Right.
very much that, like that voice where it says, "Can you do this?" That
Yeah.
particular. What were the words you were saying? What's
Gotcha.
the way you were saying that to yourself?
Gotcha. Makes total sense. So my thing was, I mean, I really can't remember to the extent, because it's just like it's been a while. But if I could vaguely remember, you know, I I think it was just like I was just thinking of all the wrong things, all the things that could go wrong instead of what could have went right,
Mm.
and when I stopped thinking of all the things that could have went wrong, I started thinking like, well, I've been studying this stuff. As long as I trust what I've been learning and just put what I've learned in, to practice, it's gonna work, and that's what I just started believing on. Like, it wasn't more so my capabilities anymore. It was more so like the application that I've required. Like, it's just like, okay, I've been learning this stuff. I've been studying this stuff. All I have to do now is take it and put it into practice, and
Mm.
just let it do its work. And like I said, my big thing was focusing on what they were going to do. I wasn't more so like the imposter syndrome of like, am I capable? Like, I mean, later on down the road, it did start to get to that
Mm.
slightly, but it just all reverted back to, I've been studying this stuff. I've been studying this stuff. Go back to what you've been learning.
Mm.
Just depend on solely on what you've been learning, and allow that, take that, and put it into practice. And just
Mm.
and just hope that they'll do the work. And that's just what it really led to for me. Um, but like I said, it's pretty vague answer, and vague memory there. But just to cross that bridge of the hesitance is just like to have that confidence and that belief in like everything you're learning, just trust in what you've been learning, trust in what you've been doing, and just put it into practice. And it's just like, it's like it's uncertain. We won't know until we actually do it. So it's like we can always be on the edge and never find out by not firing, or we can fire and figure it out. Like, okay, I've took what I've been studying, I've took what I've been learning, put it into practice, and this is the feedback that I'm getting. So I think to me it
Love
was
it.
just like, I have to do it, or I will never figure out if I can do it.
Mm.
So that's the big thing. And that's still what I operate on, because even as I continuously go and go, it's still like, oh man, I'm getting further and further. I'm taking bigger steps
Yeah,
now. Like,
yeah.
it's like, I don't know if I could do this, but guess
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna keep going. It's like, I'm not gonna stop, because I'm never gonna find out if I stop.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
just like, I'm gonna find it out, and then I'm gonna adjust from there. So to answer your question, I hope that answered your question,
Yeah,
David.
no, definitely, no, definitely, and I think that was going to touch on to a thought that came in my head from a lot of what you're saying. Was we're in a fortunate enough position that we're making money doing. We're
Mhm.
starting to be able to charge good amounts of money to do what we love to do, and with that
Mhm.
comes new challenges, new problems. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
That as everything gets bigger, you start to go, can I? You start to have this thing where it's like, well, if it gets too big, can I actually control that? Will that become too big?
Mhm.
But you just stick with it and stick with it. And so,
Right.
it's good to know that you still, well, for other people, that you still have that, you still ask yourself those questions, and those questions come in your mind. So when those thoughts do come in your mind, I mean, how often do they come in your mind, and how easy is it for you to switch that off? Because obviously you've said, look, I
Mhm.
stay focused on, if I stay
Yeah.
on this right track, then at least I get to know how far I can go with this. But how easy is
Mhm.
it to tell yourself that? I mean, do you have points where it's like, this is tough. I don't know if today I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I can see that far ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, man. And my thing is, I don't think it's like really an on or off switch for me, because I think it can come at any time. But my thing is just like curing it by just continuously moving, just continuously putting in the actions, taking the action. And it's like, whatever happens, I'll just adjust off the feedback, because,
Mhm.
like you said, it's like, new levels, I guess, what they call it, they say new levels, new devils, so it's just like, I'm in a different place now than I was, when I first started, trying to having that fear of if I was going to help my first client succeed, to
Uh-huh.
where I am now. And it's just like, still like fear still pops up, and it's just like can just the fact that you just have to continuously move. It's like if you allow to paralyze you, then you'll never figure out. And I don't mean to say you, but I'm speaking like in my terms as of like talking to myself. Like if I stop, if I get so afraid and just stop moving, and that's just where I'm going to end up. If I don't continuously take the action to move forward, if I just move, and my philosophy is, I'm going to be afraid. This isn't going to be the last time I'm going to be afraid. This isn't going to be the last time I'm going to be uncertain. But it's just like I know that I'm just going to keep moving. I made that commitment to myself that I'm on a roller coaster. I'm strapped in and I'm not getting off. It's like I'm just going to keep taking the steps to move forward every single time. And it's like no matter how scary it gets, no matter how uncertain it gets, there's no like such thing as I have to I have to wait till I'm not scared anymore to move forward. Just like I have to just keep going and adjust accordingly. So to answer your question, that's pretty much it. Just take the action. Just keep taking the action. You're going to be afraid, but just keep taking the action.
I love it. And I mean, when it comes to, anything that we're passionate about, we can't help but look up to people. So who do you look up to?
Mm-hmm. Well, join the CIA, man. I look up to Alex big time, man. I mean, big time. Like, this guy is brilliant. It's like, this guy, this is what I like to see right here. It's like, somebody who not just talks the talk, but just walks the walk. It's like, this is the guy right here. And that's why I say, like, I'm just so thankful to actually find somebody like that, because like as he said, there's so much nonsense on the internet. It's like you don't know who to trust, but it's like, wow, I was in a program prior to this, and it was like nothing compared to CIA and actually having a coach that actually is doing, talking what he does, or excuse me, doing what he says. It's like he's coaching, but he's also has done what he's coaching. So he's not coaching something he's not unfamiliar about. He's actually done this over many years. So that's definitely a person, a guy that I look up to tremendously. And it's like, that right there is where I want to be. I want to be performing at that level right there. So to keep me going, man, and seeing him in the CIA live, it's just like, this guy is amazing. So that's somebody I definitely look up to when it comes to business, big time.
Yeah.
I know.
And I want to get on to a bit about, I mean, so much of what you said, to be honest, is being gold, and I can resonate with it massively. And one of the, before I want to get on to sort of where people can find you and actually like, anyone who's interested in health and fitness, I couldn't really advocate you more. But when the point you made around Alex Jeffries, which absolutely he just does deliver the results for people. And for so many people out there, whether it's people who are wondering about working with me, people who are wondering about working with you, or working with a trainer or a coach or a consultant, trust is so important. And it's and so many people have been burned by people, and one of the things I like to try and do is make sure I can share as much content with people so that they can get a good idea about whether I'm the right fit for them, because I won't be the right fit for everyone. You won't be the right fit for everyone. That's just the way of life. How do you go about, or either how do you go about it, or what would you say in terms of you building trust with clients or potential clients? How do you go about trying to build trust? Because I think it's so important that people trust us.
I would say trying to build trust, I would just say being me. It's like there was a point where I was trying to be so professional in the beginning and this and that, and try to be so perfect. And it's like, I'm just gonna just be me. Like how I'm talking on here, like I'm not using all these words and trying to be someone I'm not. It's like if I mess up, it's like whatever. So it's like just being me is more comfortable, and it's sustainable, because like if you're upholding an image that you're not, it's like it's hard to maintain, and that's where you actually break the trust. So So being me, you know, is a big thing. I find, you know, if people continuously see who I am and keep revealing me as me, you know, they'll get to know me, and you know, like you said, there's a fit, there's not a fit. Some people will like you, some people won't. You know, I'm just gonna just continue to be me, and the right ones will come along.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely amazing. And so I think, you know, for me, health and fitness is it's just one of those things that transformed my life. Firstly, I was an athlete, so maybe it came a little bit easier to me because it was
Mm-hmm.
just a natural, training was always a natural part of my life. And it's just something, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
had to do from a sporting background. And when I shifted from that into the business world, and then
Mm-hmm.
didn't keep up the fitness at the same level, and I was thinking, I feel like crap all the time. Like,
Yeah.
why do I feel like crap? And I genuinely thought it was just like a mental thing or something, and I just realized
Right.
I need to get back on my fitness. Like, I need to get on
Oh
top of
yeah.
this, and then on top of diet as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that is just so incredibly important. So just
Mm-hmm.
before we get to the point of wrapping up, one, obviously you're a personal trainer, but talk, if you can, just share some information around diet in terms of what you eat, or in terms of what people could be doing better, or what people miss out on. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll get on to, you know, where people can find you. But talk to us a little bit about diet and stuff like that. I know you're not necessarily, I don't believe you're a nutritionist, but I know you'll have a good
No.
you'll have a very good understanding of what
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
should do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of nutrition, I mean, I get it a lot. You know, people ask me, and I get to a point where it's like, look, man, you know, I'm more into fitness. You know, we want to talk about fitness, we can do that. You know, like my um my nutrition horizon goes as far as, you know, trying to help somebody build muscle. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I'm not into, you know, the antioxidants, you know, and all this that. You know, it's like, you know, I got a basic understanding of it. You know, like processed food is obviously not,
yeah,
you know, stay away from processed foods. You know, eat more of the whole foods, and so getting to that, you know, it's pretty much, yeah, you know, just eat more whole foods. You know, stay away from the highly processed foods, sugary foods, and you know, nourish your body with whole foods, pretty much.
mm.
You know, when it comes to build the muscle, it's just like you and I don't want to get too specific, but to be simplistic here, just you have to eat more. You know, eat more of the right
Yeah,
foods. I
yeah,
see a lot of people eating up tons of junk food. You know, they want to eat the ice cream, they want to eat the pizzas. You know, they want to try
yeah.
to, you know, just shove all this unprocessed, unhealthy foods down their throat, thinking it's gonna work. And you know, one day
Well,
they're eating a whole lot of that, and the next day they're like feeling like crap. You
yeah,
know.
I made that mistake. I remember a number of years back, I was like, I just want to put on like a stone of muscle,
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what,
yeah.
like I put on a stone in like
You're not the only one, man.
7 or 8 months, and I was like, I was thinking like I'm lifting like insane weights. I thought I'm
Yeah,
absolutely huge, and then like I felt
yeah.
like crap all of the time, and I
Mhm.
was like, and I looked in the
Yeah,
mirror, I thought, fuck, like how much? And I've never been like an overweight person ever, but I thought,
yeah.
I don't look like an athlete anymore. Like that's not me. And so I had to I had to go back down. I had to start again and
Mhm.
do it. Now I do it the right way. And for anyone who, like, I've had people say, like, oh, putting on muscle, putting on weight, like you have to eat
Mhm.
more. You feel like crap. You're more tired.
Right.
Exactly. If you just eat like a balanced diet in terms of getting the
Mhm.
right nutrients, like you feel great. Like you feel
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely.
And so, you know,
Mhm.
when you have gone about, you know, what would be like for you, like every day I have to eat this, like as much as
Yeah.
like you work out, it's some, you know, foods that are good
Right.
for you, but like also foods
Mhm.
like I've got to have this in my diet, otherwise I'm screwed.
Right. And I'm actually glad you brought that up, David. You know, and to be very real here, um, I've actually haven't been on, you know, eating extremely, you know, being to the T with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that just gets back to my discipline. You know, I've actually haven't been having, you know, more whole foods. I've actually been eating quite a bit of junk, you know, and it just gets back to, like, you know, um being in that slump for me. You know, it's like, you know, we all know what we need to do. You know, it's like, but do we
Yeah,
really want to do it at that moment? You know,
yeah, yeah,
and you know, we all fall off here and there. So that's just where I am right now. It's just like, I know I need to get back on to, eating more of the right foods. And that jumps back to getting back into discipline. It's just like snapping back into discipline. Like, hey, you can have this ice cream, you can have some pizza here and there, but it's like you can't allow this to continue to go over, or else you're going to continue to feel like crap. So more so for me is just like, when I am on that level, which I will be very soon, because I have it happen to me all the time. It's like I'll be going good, and then it'll just be like, like a week or so where I just, I'm just like, let me put this off to the side. Let me enjoy my life. Let me just indulge in this for a while, and I'll get back to it. But I never let it go for months on end. It's like definitely get back to it. But good question though. When I am in that phase, and I'm going at it, and I'm like on the ball, man. It's like Whole Foods. It's chicken. I like to have the chicken, the sweet potatoes, and always a side of vegetables with it. When I first started, I used to get into calculating the macros and things like that. More more so now, I'm just into maintaining myself, keeping myself looking good, not getting all disproportionate and whatnot. Like you say, where I was in the same thing with you when I first started. Just like I was trying to eat all the junk food, trying to like, man, I gotta put on this weight. I was definitely in that same boat with you, and I think a lot of people are in that boat. Sometimes get in that boat at a time where it's just like I'm trying to eat all this food, all the junk food. I need to put on this weight. But the main thing is when I started switching over to Whole Foods, having a nice pasta with the chicken, some beef with rice. It's just like the little simple thing. Like I like simplicity. I don't like complex stuff. So I like to keep it simple. Like the basic chicken, rice. I don't have that all the time. A lot of people don't like to have that. It's like, you gotta be a bodybuilder, eat chicken and broccoli and rice every single day. It's like, nah, it wasn't. It's not like that. It wasn't like that when I actually got into the groove of packing on muscle. It's having those options. So just to make it simple, man, just whole foods. Like I said, the lean meats, the good sources of carbs. Like breakfast, the complex carbs, and like the oatmeal, things like that. Brown rices, for the lunches and whatnot. Like I said, also with a side of vegetables, making sure you're getting your micronutrients. You need the vitamins in. So it's just the simple things, man. But yeah, when I get on that, definitely that's the big thing there is just whole foods, more than the processed foods, and you'll be golden.
Good stuff. Right. Well, I think you've given us a lot of stuff to take away then, and give me a lot of food for thought as well, excuse the pun. And so just before we wrap up, just talk to people about where they can find you on social media. I think you've given a lot of, not only just in terms of the technical aspects of health and fitness, but actually like hearing your story and actually being someone very inspiring is something, you being yourself and being very authentic in that way is something that people will want to get behind. So talk to people about where they can find you if they're interested in what you do.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. So Instagram, it is my full name, Levern Fitzpatrick Jr. Also to make a note of, one minute I'll call myself Levern, next minute I'll call myself Laverne, and Vern for short. Because it's crazy because my dad will be like, your name's actually pronounced Levern, and then like my mom will call me Laverne, and he'll be okay with it, and it's weird, man. It's so weird.
Okay.
So it's like some people call me that. It's like okay, and like most people call me Laverne, so it's like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
I start introducing myself as Vern for short, So it's like just take off the LE, But Instagram is LEVERN Fitzpatrick FITZPATRICK Junior. That's for Instagram. Facebook is Vern Fitzpatrick, and Twitter. Actually, I have to check that one myself. I need to actually get all my names.
Is Twitter still a thing?
In order.
Is Twitter still a thing? Like, I don't know. I don't know if people are still using that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know. I don't really think so neither. I guess it really doesn't matter, huh?
No, well, we got you on Facebook and Instagram, so yeah. So
Yeah,
that
that's
was
cool.
so on
Yeah,
Instagram, Laverne Fitzpatrick on Junior, on Facebook, Vern Fitzpatrick as well. So
yeah,
go and check him
perfect.
out, because every time I speak with Vern, like, well, one, find out a bit more about him and his story, but we've been on similar paths business wise as well, so we
Oh
can
yeah.
sort of bond on that, and very interesting, and I'd hope in the future that you know, I'm obsessed with so many different areas of coaching that I'd love to,
Hmm.
in this Self-Belief Chief brand, be able to get people within the brand to do different aspects. And Vern is someone I think a lot of people in our business group as well would admit Vern's someone who's very engaging and very enthusiastic, very inspiring. And that's someone you want to, you know, when you're working with a coach, a consultant, trainer, whatever it is, it doesn't half help when you got someone like that as well. So go and check him out.
Hmm.
I hope everyone enjoyed this episode, and I'm sure we'll have Vern back in the future as well. So if you've got any questions for me that you want to ask Vern in the future, then feel free to do so. But otherwise, Vern, thank you very much for your time. Pleasure as always.
David, I thank you very much, man. This has been a tremendous experience, man. Very first podcast ever.
All right.
Just for everybody's listening, man.
Yeah.
So thank you, man. I truly appreciate this, man. It's definitely awesome.
Awesome. All right, Vern. All right. All the best, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.